Hey everybody, in this video we're going to talk about the ballot propositions that passed recently here in California, the ones specifically pertaining to real estate. This is Ben Larson. I'm a co-owner and real estate advisor here at Engel Völkers South Bay. And today I'm joined by Julie Tran, the Government Affairs Director at the South Bay Association of Realtors. So I wanted to bring Julie in to talk a little bit about those propositions and give us some background on what they mean, and most specifically Proposition 19.
So for review, the three propositions that would have affected the real estate industry this November were Prop 19, the property tax transfer proposition, which also alters some inheritance tax transfer rules, Prop 15 and Prop 21, which both failed. Prop 15 would have enacted split roll. It's not going away. Split roll to split the property tax of commercial and industrial buildings, to take that out of the Prop 13 calculation. That idea is still going to be floated around Sacramento. The proponents have already said they're going to run another ballot measure in 2022. So we'll hang tight for that. But for now, it's been defeated. And Prop 21, which would have greatly expanded local rent control, has also been defeated. But of course, Michael Weinstein, the bankroller of Prop 21, has said again he's going to be coming back with it.
Yeah, I think 19 is the one people have the most questions about. So let's focus on that one. Thanks.
So Prop 19 did pass. It was called by the Associated Press to have received the majority of the vote in California. And it makes some major changes to the way that, first of all, two pieces, right? The first piece is the tax transfer Prop 60, Prop 90 provisions that seniors over the age of 55 qualify for. This tax transfer allows them to take their tax base with them when they move to a replacement home. Prop 19 expands that a little bit, and this benefit actually benefits not only seniors 55 and older, but it will be expanded to victims of natural disasters, wildfires, floods in California, and homeowners who are disabled.
Okay, sounds good. So what are the main changes that were put in place with Proposition 19? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So right now, under Prop 60 and Prop 90, and this is, the only changes that are made are these three things. Under Prop 60 and Prop 90, you have the ability to take your tax base with you, but you have to buy a house of the same or lower price. You can only transfer it one time, and that's one time between you. If you file jointly with your spouse, it's one time between the both of you. And you're limited by county. So there's 10 counties in the state of California that accepts the inter-county transfer. That's Prop 60 and Prop 90. It's currently in effect until April 1st of 2021, when Prop 19 will take over. Prop 19 expands that a little, allows you to buy a home of any price, anywhere in the state of California, so no more county restriction. And instead of one time, you can do it 3 times.
Okay, good to know. So those are some of the changes that are happening compared to Prop 6090. So that's a good explanation. Now, with the one where people can actually buy a more expensive property, which that item has changed, can you explain that a little bit more?
If you buy a replacement house of a higher price, and you're one of the groups that qualify to do this, you can actually do a blended basis. So it won't be necessarily the same low tax basis that you would transfer. You'll take your current tax value and add to it the difference between the house you just sold and the house you just bought. So say your tax base is currently $300,000 and you just sold a house, the value of your home is $500. You just bought another home for $600. So the difference there is $100,000. You'll just add that $100,000 to the current $300,000 base that you're currently paying. So your new tax base will be $400. Does that make sense? Pretty straightforward there. By doing this, CAR does expect that the number of transactions in California would greatly increase to the tune of anywhere between 70,000 to 140,000 new transactions per year. And that's only going to increase because it kind of creates this domino effect of seniors freeing up their homes, freeing up those homes to go back on the market that has been off the market for so long, and then opening up those homes for more families to move in.
Okay, so that's a good thing. Inventory is incredibly low. I mean, we're down probably 30% over last year, which was already low. So anything that can add more inventory definitely helps because there's a ton of buyer demand. So one thing I'm hearing a lot about is how it affects inherited property. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
The other piece to this is the ones that's a little more tense around our area because of the high property values. Prop 19 changes the way that inherited properties are assessed. So right now we have Prop 58 and Prop 193. And those govern the rules around inheritance transfers. If you are a parent and you're passing down your property to your child, either through a transfer while you're still alive or after you're deceased, your child can inherit that tax base. Currently, there's no limit to it. Whether that child lives in that property as their primary residence or whether they use it as an investment property doesn't matter. And they are able to also inherit, as of right now, another $1 million in other property, which could be a small business, other investment property you have. And so Prop 19 does slash that a lot. Okay, your $1 million of other property gone that you can transfer without being reassessed. And if you transfer your primary residence to your child or grandchild, in the case that the parent is deceased, the heir needs to be able to certify that they're going to move into the property as their primary residence within 1 year. I think this takes it down from the 2 years that Prop 58 or the 3 years that Prop 58 currently allows. So you got to move in within 1 year, and if the property has increased, its market value has increased over $1 million of the current tax base that you're paying, you will be reassessed for that difference. Does that make sense? So say you're paying, your current tax base is $500,000 and the property is worth $1 million. Okay, so right now you can, if your property, it has increased over that 1.5 million, but if your property has increased over the 1.5 million, say the property has increased to 2 million, then you're going to subtract that 1 million exemption. You get a 1 million exemption from the current taxable value to use as your new tax base. So then your new tax base will be 1 million instead of 500.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that might be causing some problems here locally where values have gone up quite a bit. And people do inherit them and they don't want to really move in. They haven't in the past always had to move into them. So that's good to know. And it's definitely going to affect things here locally. So what about the timing of it all? When does all this go into effect?
So the deputy director of the Board of Equalization, the entity that's going to basically implement this new tax law, has come out and said that he believes that April 1st date is when Prop 19 takes effect. And all the way up until that April 1st date, Prop 60 and Prop 90 are still in place. So that is what his thoughts are right now. So that means if you have a client who has sold a property anytime before April 1st next year, they're still going to be operating by Prop 60, Prop 90 rules, which limits them by price, number of times, counties, right? That's still inconclusive though. That's what his thoughts were to the San Francisco Chronicle when they interviewed him about it. However, the implementation is still not yet final, and CAR attorneys are also working with the Board of Equalization because they believe that once the April 1st operative date comes into effect, as long as your second transaction is after April 1st, you should be able to take advantage of Prop 19.
Okay, well, it's a starting point. At least we have that information, and everybody stay tuned. We'll get more updates as they come out. Check out my YouTube page for other educational videos about the market, the buying and selling process. Lots of great information there. This is Ben Larson with Engel Völkers South Bay. And again, I want to thank Julie Tran, the Government Affairs Director with South Bay Association of Realtors, for joining us today. Thanks, Julie. Everybody.